Child, you think you walking into that store to save money, but everything in that store is designed to make you spend more. Today, I'm uncovering 7 secrets that the stores don't want you to know. Last week, we talked about grocery mistakes, but today we're going to dive a little deeper into the psychology that they use against us to make us spend more. Now, the first secret is what I call the eye level tax. These big name brand companies pay retailers a lot of money to get their product front and center on the shelves. Think of it like paying rent for shelf space. If they can't get their product on the shelf at eye level, they are at risk of losing sales. And child, if you're not visible, you might as well not even exist to the shoppers. The eye level tax is intentional because eye level equals buy level. Most people, my husband, cough, cough, buy what's directly in front of them. I think this tax was made specifically for men like him. And these stores know most people are less likely to even notice the prices are cheaper up top and down below. And let's not even talk about kids' eye level tax. You know that sugary cereal that they place at the kids' eye level? Yeah. That's eye level tax at its finest. I know because I used to be one of those kids. Even when my mom would have that talk with us before we even set foot in that store, I was that kid begging for that sugary cereal, knowing the consequences of asking for that sugary cereal. But I took the risk and asked anyway. So yes, those eye level items are there for a reason, to get you to spend more money. So now that we know about this eye level tax, the next time we go grocery shopping, we're going to start at the top and at the bottom and ignore everything in between. Now, secret number 2 is the 10 for 10 mind game. This deal has been tricking people for years, making them think that they have to buy 10 items in order to get the deal. You see 10 for 10 and your brain automatically thinks, if I don't buy 10 cans of Pringles, I'm missing out on this deal. This is the perfect time to stock up on these Pringles. It quietly shifts your focus from need to deal. Instead of asking, do I even need this? Your brain shifts to, this is a good deal and I can't pass it up. And let's not even get started on how they phrase this sale. 10 for 10 sounds way better than $1 each. The bundle distracts you from realizing that other brands may even be cheap. But the sneaky truth is you don't have to buy all 10 items to get that item for $1. The price per item is exactly the same whether you buy 1 or if you buy 10. Now, how do you outsmart this sneaky tactic? First, you want to find out if you really do have to buy 10 items. Now, I do know Kroger does have this sale where you do have to buy 10 in order to get money off, but other sales, like when it say 10 for 10 and no other restrictions around it, that item is $1. One thing you want to ask yourself, if this item wasn't on sale, would I still buy it? Is this something that I really need right now? Am I building my stockpile with this item? And is this a good stock up price? If the answer is yes, get it, stock up. If not, get how many you initially came in there to get, and that's it. Secret number 3 is unit price sabotage. What do I mean about unit price sabotage? Stores will display things like 25 cents per pound or $1 per ounce. Your brain sees these numbers and it doesn't even register that it's not the same scale. Just for funsies now, we all know that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So if something costs 25 cents per ounce, that's $4 per pound. I got that by multiplying 16 times 25 cents. That gave me $4. So next time you run across a per ounce deal, just multiply the total ounces by 16 to get your price. If something is 10 cents per ounce, that's $1.60 per pound. If something is 30 cents per ounce, that's $4.80 per pound. If something is 50 cents per ounce, that's $8 per pound. Stores use this tactic all of the time because smaller unit prices feels cheaper, while at the same time per pound feels way more expensive. If you know about that Thanksgiving turkey and the Thanksgiving ham, you know. If you know, you know. Feels more expensive. And is inconsistent units hide the deal much better. Let's take a look at this example. Brand A is $2.88 per pound, while brand B is 22 cents per ounce. Which one do y'all think is the cheapest? Unless you convert by multiplying 22 cents by 16, brand A is cheaper, but brand B looks cheaper. Y'all, these stores know that we are not standing in these aisles calculating all of this math, and that's how they are getting over with unit prices. The more effort it takes, the more likely we are to run in there and grab what we need and get on out of there. Come in closer. Come here. Let me give you the cheat code on how to avoid getting cheated out of money with these unit prices. If you have time, convert those ounces to pound to get the actual price. While you are shopping, compare the same units. If one thing says ounce, one thing says pounds, you're going to convert that number and compare. And that way you'll find out which one is actually cheaper. Don't trust your eyes, trust the math. The next secret that these stores don't want you to know about is the end cap hustle. How many of y'all have gotten hustled by that end cap? Now, these stores place items on these end caps just so that you can spend more money. Not all end cap items are discounted. Some are full price or even cost more. Just like with eye-level tax, brands pay extra money to get their products on the end caps because end caps is prime real estate. And they get you every time when you are in grab and go mode or not actively paying attention to what you are getting or sticking to your list. End caps lead to impulse buying because you see something on sale and you grab it. Or you see something that you think is a sale and you grab it. But if you actually go down the aisle and compare that end cap item to other things on that aisle, you will find that the things on the aisle is much cheaper than the end cap. And oftentimes on the end caps, you'll see something like 3 for $10 or family-sized items, something that's too good to pass up. So how do we avoid the end cap hustle? I'm glad you asked. Stop before you grab something on that end cap and walk down the aisle to see if another brand is cheaper. That's it. That's all you have to do. You want to make sure that you are getting the best deal for your family. Secret number 5 is the artificial scarcity trap. Don't fall for it, y'all. Do not fall for this trap. I'm sure you have seen those signs where it says limit 5 or limit 10. The strategy behind this secret is to trick your brain into thinking that this item is in high demand and I should grab it before it's all gone. So instead of grabbing the 1 or 2 that you came in the store to get, you go ahead and get all 5 or however many the deal is for. Studies have shown just adding a purchase limit can add to how much people buy, even if they are not in danger of running out of their product. Let's say a common household product like, I don't know, Pine Sol. Pine Sol Lemon Fresh Scent. And it's on sale for $1.99 and there is a limit of 5. You only needed 1 to add to your stockpile because you have a cabinet full at the house. But you're standing there wondering if you should buy all 5 or just get the 1 that you came in there for. Now, instead of spending $1.99, you're spending $5.97. So how do we avoid this artificial scarcity trap? Mainly by sticking to your list. If it wasn't on your list or if you only had so many on that list, you get that amount and keep it moving. Now, secret number 6 is what drives me crazy. Secret number 6 is shrinkflation. I know y'all have noticed this. Shrinkflation is when companies shrink the size of their products but keep the packaging the same. Have you noticed a big bag of chips has more air than chips? Or a box of cereal has more space than cereal. And let's not even get started on toilet paper rolls with less sheets. These companies bank on you not paying attention to shrinkflation. And that's why they can quietly turn something that was once 16 ounces into 14 ounces, but still keep the 16-ounce box. Now your grocery budget is starting to creep up and you have no idea why. Because your food is getting eaten well before it was supposed to, because that packaging is smaller. So how do you handle shrinkflation? I'm glad you asked, because I'm about to tell you. If you have time while you're grocery shopping, compare the net weight. I have a whole video dedicated to showing you how to do just that. I'll link it down in the description box. But if 2 boxes of cereal look identical, but one is much lighter than the other, that product has shrunk. Another thing that you can do is pay attention to the food that you buy on a regular basis. I kid you not, y'all. The other day I cooked a pound of beef to make tacos and burritos. That 1 pound of beef normally make 25 to 30 burritos. I cooked that pound of beef the other day. I barely got 15 burritos. And that's stuffing it with refried beans and rice and extra things so that I don't have to use as much meat. That is shrinkflation. They shrunk that meat some kind of way because that was not a pound of ground beef. So yeah, we have to pay attention to the packaging when we go grocery shopping. Secret number 7 is buy one, get one free. Don't fall for that trap, y'all. Do not fall for that trap. The buy one get one free is a markup trick to get us to spend more money. This deal sounds amazing, right? What if I told you the original price is marked up the week before the sale happens? You get in that store and you see buy one get one free and you go to town stocking up. Let's say a bottle of juice costs $2 before the sale started. So if you get 2 juices, that is $4 a regular price. Okay, cool. $4. Now the following week they put that same juice on sale, buy one get one free, and one will cost you $4. Are you really getting a sale if that one juice is $4? Nothing in this example was really free. It was the marketing that changed. Without that sale, you would have gotten one for $2. Now you are tricked into buying 2 and spending an extra $2. Now, when you see these buy one, get one free deals, think of it like this. If you have to spend more money to get this deal, leave it. My suggestion is to get familiar with things that you buy on a regular basis. Create an inventory list or a shopper's list or some type of spreadsheet. Things that you buy on a regular basis, you should know the price of those things. That way, when they come out with these buy one, get one free sales, you know if you're getting tricked or not. Because buy one, get one free doesn't always mean that you're saving money. It just means that you are spending more. So don't be fooled by these grocery store tricks, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power. And now that you know their secrets, you are the one in control. Now I've got to ask you, which one of these secrets surprised you the most? Let's keep the conversation going down in the comment section. Now I only covered 7 secrets. If you know any other secrets that I'm missing, let me know down in the comment section. And if you are ready to stop eating away your entire paycheck, go ahead and click the video on the screen. I cover grocery mistakes that people make that cause them to eat away their entire paychecks. I hope you have an amazing day, and we will chit chat in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.